We see issues in society everywhere. We see carbon credits being fraudulent. We see big tech's big breach of trust and the constant growth in tension between consumer and big tech. Tension between consumers and big organizations grows every week because there's a lot of privacy issues. There's a lot of storytelling that is actually not true and ended up being not true.
The biggest problem in carbon credits and voluntary carbon markets right now is lack of transparency and lack of trust. And to certain cases, double spending and greenwashing. Now, all of that is happening because you today do not have a platform which transparently records data and gives you a transparent view. Legacy technologies do not let us do that.
So what we have to do is we have to start ushering story proving instead of storytelling. And we do this through notarization of events happening in a database connected with legal identity, so that individuals, journalists and auditors all have the capability to verify if something is true. And this transparency that a company can take is now building trust and loyalty from your customers. So it increases your customer retention.
The human problem we're trying to solve is of educational nature as well as, of course, business nature. The educational aspect is that people, consumers, need to start understanding that each method of payment has a cost, and they're paying this cost all the time in their consumer prices, even though they think it's for free. A lot is changing right now in the payments industry, where the big payments players, they would forbid merchants to ask for different prices depending on the method. And now we have several cases, for example in Canada, where a small consortium of cafe owners managed to reach a decision by the highest court that now Canada-wide 2.5% can be charged for each credit card purchase. So making it visible to people what the actual costs are is also helping a lot to sort of re-educate consumers to a different behavior. The consumer benefit is clearly that they very actively pay for something. So it's not a deduction, it's not we just write it to your credit line or something. It's really just like with cash. If you're not opening your wallet, your money's not going. And then of course, we're very actively working with our merchants to create very attractive promotions to get people to pay in this method, because of course also the merchant saves money. There are no chargebacks, there are lower fees, and so we want to create this incentive on both sides.
Knowledge is power, and if you centralize all the knowledge, which is data, at a small group of incumbents, then that skews the marketplace. You can see it already happening, especially with AI now. It's just this tension is growing and growing, and within Europe there's a large movement now with the EU data strategy. So there's going to be 6 pieces of critical legislation putting into effect in the coming years. The emphasize data standardization, interoperability, transparency, auditability and privacy. And all those pieces of legislation are going to force companies to change the way how they do data governance.
Blockchain is a very important tool for 2 reasons. The first reason is, of course, cost and accountability. So you have very low transaction costs on the blockchain we use. And the second one is you have this triple letter accounting, as it's often called. So you know that as long as your wallet is synchronized correctly, your records are straight and nobody can manipulate any records.
We have to let people sign their events so it's notarized and people can audit and check it later. And this is what we're doing for our client Dogflow. They have a maritime logistics platform that helps freight forwarders track their containers. We have integrated the MintBlue solution into their platform, so now every container is tracked. An independent carbon footprint calculator, BigMao, can calculate the carbon emission, notarize that to the blockchain too. So now you have every tracked container and every carbon footprint notarized. And now you have a full provenance trail between multiple independent, trustworthy organizations about what has happened.
Blockchain inherently has transparency built in, a complete auditability built in. At the same time, it guarantees immutability and it guarantees encryption, and it guarantees that you cannot hack and tamper with the data.